Welcome back to the Phil's Boardroom, where we will be touching base on what was the 2024 Philadelphia Phillies season. This is Dave, and as always, joined by the co-chairman of the board, Tom. How's it going, man?
What's up,
It's been a
Dave?
while.
Yeah, we're back. We had to take a little time after that series. Didn't go exactly how we planned.
Yeah, it's been just over 2 months since the end of the season, unfortunately, a little earlier than everybody, I would say, they wanted, not necessarily expected. I think the writing was on the wall in some cases, but I think we refused to see it. But nevertheless, we apologize for taking 2 months to get back and recap. Really, after that game, we had a plan to record if we won.
Yeah, we were gonna review, move along to the series, and then and then after that didn't happen, and there was kind of a lot going on. But
I had a conflict. I was traveling, and
I feel like everybody kind of probably wanted to take a step back anyway.
I think so. Then it got awkward of like, when do we record again? Because then there was like the World Series.
There's
and
going to be stuff going.
You're
right, if it would have been during the series.
Like, what do we do? So nevertheless, we're here now, and
Solid World Series.
It's actually pretty fitting with what we have going on, because the baseball offseason is pretty slow, but it's going to be heating up here pretty quickly, I think. So we'll talk about that this episode a little bit more, but yeah, let's talk as we start every episode with the ring the bell. This one's going to be of topic, and we have to address it.
You have to look back to look forward.
Yeah,
you have to look back before you can look forward.
Yeah, we do, as much as we don't want to, and we usually did this during the business review, but we're going to do it now. We're not going to do a game-by-game recap of the NLDS, but we're going to do a quick one. Obviously, it's well documented. We all know. It wasn't even close.
Yeah.
The series with the Mets lost 3-1.
Mets were hot. They played better baseball.
So hot.
They played better baseball. We were ice cold.
We were ice cold, and it was frustrating, especially with how it started. Game one, we had a leadoff Schwarber.
I was at game one.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And, you could just tell. The vibes were off. There's a Schwarber home run, but then, like, after that, it was...
And then Wheeler dealed, but, like, that was it.
It just felt different. It was, I don't know, I can't explain it.
Because I think it felt different because...
We weren't cruising in after the wild card.
We weren't cruising in.
And people, like, everyone... I don't think I sat, like, in the last 2 postseasons, like, maybe... at all. The whole sections were up.
Sure.
Maybe it was a different section I was in, but like everybody was kind of just hanging out. But like, it was still a good time. There's Mets fans in front of us. Some little kid. It's like he got him to disappoint his dad by saying he was secretly a Phillies fan. But like some old guy there, some old Mets fan who's like never saw anything in his. It was like his first playoff game in his life. Yeah. So like, good for them. But also like, screw that. So the vibes were off.
The vibes were off, but I think part of it was like we didn't want to face the Mets.
Yeah.
Like, we did not. Yeah. Like, we struggled with them at the end. We knew they were hot. And, like, in the back of our minds, we knew that they kind of had our number. So it was like, well, shit. Like, are we just going to turn it on? Are we going to flip the switch like what everybody thought or like they thought? Yeah. Or is it going to be what we thought it was and it ended up being that?
The opposite of what we did the last 2 seasons before.
Yeah.
And we kind of called it. We're on our last pods. We kind of were. You can kind of tell.
Yeah. Well, the thing was, like, we knew that the bats could go cold, and they did.
Yeah.
Like, that's happened. That happened for the better part of the second half of the season.
Right.
But what we weren't expecting were the bullpen implosions that took place.
Crazy.
Basically every game.
It was unbelievable, dude, because it was like you have 2 All-Stars coming out of the bullpen. They're the best bullpen in baseball, arguably, for most of the season, and then just all of a sudden the worst postseason bullpen of all time. Like that was hard to swallow.
And it wasn't like we were throwing in like whoever. These were supposed to be our studs out of the pen.
Yeah, because then where do you go from there? You're like, okay, these guys made the All-Star game, but like, what the hell happened? Now all of a sudden you got all these questions that you didn't think you're going to have to deal with.
Hoffman, Kerkering, Estevez, the guys that we thought we were going to rely on and really lean on out of the bullpen, like, just completely implode. Strom, like, all of them. Like, you couldn't trust any of them. It was really, and now looking back, like I realized why we don't want, like
Why we
don't
didn't
want to
do this
record.
pod? Yeah, it's the reason why.
And it's so bad, so bad. I will say though that I was at game 2, the one that we won.
Game 2 was a blast. That was the only.
It was until like the 6th inning, or it wasn't until like the 6th inning, because when the 6th inning came on and Bryce hit that 3-run homer to tie it up, like the roof lifted off of the bank, right? Because like those first 6 innings, after the way game 1 went, it was like, oh my God, like we got to figure this out. And then Bryce did what he does best, comes through in the clutch, and just brought us back. And it was back and forth from then on. Bryce and Castellanos hit the walk-off that game, but they were really the only two that really showed up the whole series.
Yeah.
From an offensive standpoint.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to bring up. No, we don't even have to bring it, because Bohm's going to be a topic of conversation a little bit, but like how dead he was, kind of miserable. But the chance he had to turn it around, that was a fair ball down the line. That was a fair ball, and the fact that that's not reviewable
in game 4,
the fact because it was finally man on. But that gets a double. We got a man on third. All of a sudden, we have momentum moving.
We're going to hang on that because of.
I'm going to hang on that.
It could have been a momentum thing. In reality, it probably wouldn't have
it was
been.
A nail in the coffin. But like that was the only potential turnaround that existed.
That was the only hope that we had.
Stupidest. I think it's the dumbest thing ever that the MLB. I got to get this off my chest.
All right.
That you can't review check swings and you can't review that a ball going over the base after the
yeah, you really should be able to review
it's absurd. Those are the most reviewable plays.
It doesn't make any sense. Like there's not like it's not
so, all right
it's not like in football where you don't review holding, because if you reviewed holding on every play, there would be a hold on every play.
Right.
So I get that.
But it's like picking what to make reviewable. It's like those are the most reviewable things.
Yeah. I know you're not wrong. I completely agree.
Whatever.
Yeah. Anyway,
stupid Mets. I can't.
It was just a disaster.
No wonder we put this.
It was a disaster. But the starting pitching, I will say, was stellar throughout. That's like the silver lining.
Yeah. Ranger had that battle of a game.
Battled.
Like, that was good.
He had like 100 pitches after 4 innings with no runs though.
Was it bases loaded first like 2 innings or something?
It was insane, like how he battled.
Forgot about that.
But it was bad. And then Lindor grand slam in game 4 just like completely killed me.
I was with at the boardroom. Shout out, fellas. Matt, the bar manager, is a big Mets fan.
Yeah.
And I was standing next to him when he hit that, and I was like, "Yeah, that's sick for you guys." I'm gonna like a single tear, but it's like more disappointment than like.
I know
anger.
it's like what do you even say? Like you can't even be like, well, at least we won the NL East over you, because it's like the same thing happened to us that we did to the Braves, and it's like. Yeah, but they beat us when it mattered.
Let's get past this, please.
You got a taste of our own medicine, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it was disgusting.
Hopefully, that's the only time we do in the recent future. So, anyway, let's move on to recognition. So, yeah, it didn't end the way that we wanted to. We went right into the offseason earlier than we expected. Red October was not long-lived. However, just want to take a moment, even though this is a baseball podcast, understand that. Thank God for our 2 football teams, Tom.
Yeah.
Because they really pulled us out of the misery. Want to shout out Penn State and the Birds for playing like they did. And really the Eagles, like they picked it up right when they needed to. They were 2-2 when we lost. I think one of the last episodes we recorded was the Tampa Bay game, which was terrible. Yeah, but then ever since they're on like an 8-game win streak.
The city was bleeding.
Yeah.
The Eagles picked them up.
They did in a big way.
The Sixers came out to like their worst start of all time.
Yeah, nobody even even cares about them right now.
The Eagles were like, okay, we can do this. All we believe is Saquon.
Saquon puts us all on his back.
Penn State football is
Penn State football. It's a great time to be an Eagles Penn State fan. We're actually going to be tomorrow morning. We're leaving to go to Indy for the Big Ten championship. It's going to be a hell of a weekend. Looking forward to that. Penn State win a Big Ten championship. Could be the number 1 team in the country.
Roll right into
a lot of things on the table. Would be amazing.
The playoffs.
So, obviously, again, baseball podcast, but it's the off season. This is what we have to look forward to. Good things. Also, something really cool that we did last weekend.
Yeah.
Phillies Maestro. We had him on one of the episodes in June. Great guest. Please go back and listen to that episode if you can. Like, I've gotten a lot of people come up to me and be like, I really enjoy listening and getting perspective from the Phillies Maestro on the life of being the organist for the Phillies.
Dude, he's the man. Yeah.
He is the man. But anyway, he has his own band. It's called Boathouse Row. They specialize in yacht rock music, which is near and dear to my heart. I love yacht rock music. That's my number one. I just did my Spotify Wrapped.
Spotify Wrapped was literally
90% of what I listen to is yacht rock type of music. I didn't know until we went last weekend that he was actually the lead singer in the band.
Yeah, piano lead singer.
So Brian Anderson.
The Colonial in Phoenixville. It was awesome.
It was
Shout
a great
out Brian,
show.
Boathouse Row. Got some new T-shirt gear. Try to support friend of the program. But yeah, no, it was sick. And that that episode is up on YouTube, and he gives his whole story how he became the organist. He's awesome.
Really good, really cool, great guy.
The whole band killed it.
Great band, great, obviously piano organist player, and a good singer. Didn't know he was the lead singer.
Yeah,
that's kind of awesome. And obviously, as always, for this whole year, want to send a special thank you to the Boardroom Phoenixville for sponsoring us throughout the season. Both a personal favorite of ours in town. Great food, great drinks, great people. Thanks again.
Yeah, thanks Pat, thanks Chris, thanks all those guys over there supporting the pod and doing what you guys do. Great new menu for the winter. Check them out if you're in town, right on Bridge Street.
Always great. Thanks, guys.
Award season for the Phillies.
Yeah, we usually don't do this here, but we're going to throw it in. So recognition, some Phillies recognition. 2024 season awards. Phillies didn't really clean up in any way this year. Two players, though, that you would expect did take home some hardware. I actually don't know if they actually get anything for this. But
they do. They
probably get like a plaque.
I'm thinking the Silver Slugger.
Silver Slugger you do. Silver Slugger you do,
yeah.
But like first team All MLB and stuff, I don't know if they actually get anything.
Good question.
I don't know. Anyway,
yeah, you get an
we'll ask Tim.
Attaboy.
We'll ask Tim.
Tim will know.
Yeah, he'll know. So anyway, Zach Wheeler, first team All MLB, unfortunately came up as a bridesmaid again in the Cy Young. Man, this guy, he's like Dan Marino of pitchers.
Yeah, Josh Allen chasing the MVP.
Yeah.
Just gets pulled right from under him every time, and that's just the absolute picture of efficiency and consistency, and just a bridesmaid. It's brutal.
It is brutal. I really nothing else to say. Like,
yeah,
he couldn't have done anything else. Like, the only thing is, what's frustrating is there's so many games that we would look back. You could look back on that we gave him no run support,
none.
And that was it. Like, if we won 2 or 3 more of those games, he would have had the Cy Young. And it's not his fault.
And Sale had a hell of a year.
He did. Don't want to discredit that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It's just, he's got to be so frustrated because there were so many times that he lost and it wasn't his fault.
Yeah, and he won't admit, like, he'll never admit, like, that he's he's chasing it or anything. But it's got to
be in the back of the mind.
You just want to get that, yeah. And I mean, he's got more good years ahead of him, so.
Yeah. And another guy who should have many more great years ahead of him, Bryce Harper, the heart and soul of our team, took home a Silver Slugger Award again this year, and was second team All MLB. And that's it for the Phillies this year.
It was cool stuff with Bryce too. I want to make sure I'm getting this right, because he got it as best hitting first baseman.
Right.
This was the third different position he's won the Silver Slugger at, which I think only like 3 other guys have ever done. Yeah, let me look.
So what do you have?
Outfield,
right field, first base,
and I think his DH, maybe
DH.
his MVP year.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Hold on,
that would make sense
because it was like something that has been done very rarely.
Play?
I think I don't want to get
that would he definitely won a Silver Slugger the year that he won the MVP as the DH.
Right, and then as the outfield he got.
Was he? Yeah. No. It wasn't the year that he won the MVP. He wasn't DH. It was the year after.
Yeah,
right?
versatile. Becomes just the 4th player to win the Silver Slugger at 3 different positions: outfield, DH, and first base.
When did he win the DH? Was that 22?
I'm gonna imagine that was the MVP year before he left. Actually, no, because why wouldn't Schwarber?
Yeah,
be the
he
DH
was
on that
he was
team?
only DH in 22, right, or 23 last year because he got hurt. He had the Tommy John.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So it had to be, yeah.
I'm getting years mixed up now.
He 4th career, 1 player.
Probably 22.
Yeah, because it was
think.
Miguel Cabrera, Albert Pujols, Al Oliver, or the only other 3. It's pretty good company.
That's good company.
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame.
2023 as a
You don't know that.
oh, so we're idiots.
23.
It
23.
was-
Okay.
yeah,
22 is when he got
of course.
hurt.
So it was 23.
22
as
is when he
DH.
got hurt. He got the surgery beginning of 23, then was DH for the rest of the season. And then last year was when he went to first base.
21, he won it as the outfield. Yeah, so
21 MVP year.
Phillies have had at least 1 player win a Silver Slugger each season since 2019, except for the pandemic 20. Yeah, Real Muto usually gets it. If he's not injury short, and he's pretty much a lock for it.
Right.
And Schwarber had it last year, too. Yeah, so anyway, I thought that was pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. I did not know that. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, for the team that was blazing the trail at the beginning of the season and was the best team in baseball for a majority of the season to only have 2 players bring home any hardware is kind of tells you how it ended.
Yeah, and it's one of those, like, Bohm had the doubles title all season. Trey was pretty much top average all season, and injury
One of them,
didn't come back. Injury started sucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frustrating.
Yeah.
So moving on, we'll go to the industry update. Let's talk about everything that happened after we lost. Go through this quickly because it's still painful. But the Dodgers beat the Yankees in the World Series 4-1.
Which, if we're not in it, that was a sick matchup everybody wanted to see.
Everybody,
Yeah.
MLB wanted to see it. That's for sure. It's a big money grab for them.
Yeah.
The 2 biggest markets in the country. A little bit of there was a huge debate outside of those 2 cities. Like, who do you want to win? Like, who between the Dodgers and the Yankees? I picked the Dodgers.
I 100%.
I was actually on the fence. But then after game 1, the way Freddie Freeman won game 1 with the walk-off grand slam, I'm like, dude, you got
Freddie
the
Freeman,
Dodgers have to win after that.
Dude, he lost his mind.
Lost his
playoffs.
He had consecutive World Series games?
Or 8 straight
It was
games or something.
8 straight consecutive World Series games. Obviously not all this year, but in the World Series that he's played, he said he hit 1 home run in every game.
I was getting tired of seeing his big old fake 2 white teeth. This is a public service announcement out there. If you're getting veneers, if you're getting fake teeth, don't go the whitest one. Go slightly less because it looks ridiculous. Dude, they're blinding the TV
Shout out to
cameras.
his was it a dentist or
oral surgeon?
Oral surgeon?
Yeah, whatever. And things are too white, dude. It was distracting.
Oh, it's funny.
Maybe that gave him the confidence.
Maybe he did. He's feeling good about himself. So he go up and
Did
but no,
lose his
good
mind.
for him. Everybody says he's one of the best guys. And I believe that, especially with what he had going on in his personal life. It was pretty awesome for him to have that moment and to win MVP of the World Series. So, good for them. I think it's always good for the Yankees not to win because
Absolutely.
27 World Series, blah, 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 blah.
And that's where I was at. Screw the Yankees. And also, I think Ohtani's one of the coolest, baddest dudes on the planet. So if we're out, it's a lot
Baddest gamblers or baddest?
It turns out he's not a very good gambler, and I that really speaks to me as a man.
Yeah, well, he is one of the best players out there. Obviously, won another MVP for this year. This time for the National League.
It would have been fun to have a series against him.
He did not play well.
We
against
owned
us.
him.
We did.
Yeah.
We did own him this year.
Maybe next year,
Because
the Dodgers aren't going anywhere.
Yeah, and then no, they're not, and they can be even crazier. Aaron Judge won the MVP for the American League. Good thing it's a regular season award, not looking into the postseason.
Yeah,
He was
butt,
he
butt,
was he
butt,
was
man.
ass.
Yeah.
He was ass. And then Scooball and Sale won the Cy Youngs. We already talked about Sale. Poor Wheeler. But anyway, good for Sale. He pitched well.
Yeah.
Both pitched well. And then from an offseason move standpoint, the offseason free agency in baseball is just so dragged out and slow.
Oh yeah.
Really, the only things that were of note is Dodgers signed Snell, so they got better. But Snell struggled for at least the first half of the season.
Yeah, he came out slow and then pitched really and then started pitching well later, right?
Yeah.
I feel like Yamamoto starting out slow, he played a bigger role.
Yeah.
The guy they got, and we could touch on the new guy coming out from Japan who hopefully doesn't also go to the Dodgers this offseason. Because Yamamoto was one of those guys, the prospect from Japan that everybody wanted. Dodgers get him, adjust to the MLB kind of slow, but towards the end of the season and playoffs,
Yeah, obviously
he was
played
huge.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then not like the biggest names in the world, but like something that was interesting. The Braves traded Jorge Soler to the Angels, and Travis d'Arnaud, also from the Braves, signed a free agent deal with the Angels. So the Angels are becoming Braves West, I guess.
Sure.
The old Braves West. Also interesting that Pete Alonso, everybody's favorite player for the Mets, they're saying he's not expected to re-sign with them.
Yeah, it's a little surprising because we talked about that. We figured after that walk-off and the wild card.
The Milwaukee series.
Yeah, it was like, well, he just might have saved his Mets career, but I guess not enough.
I saw when I was looking into this that he would go to the Nationals. I don't know. That'd be weird. I don't know why. As a big free agent, I don't know. Doesn't make much sense to me. But
Interesting, yeah.
And then the biggest fish out there, the one everybody's talking about.
He is the double play king, Pete Alonso. So
That's true. I'm fine if he goes to the Nationals.
yeah, I care less.
But the big fish, Juan Soto.
Yeah, and
The huge sweepstakes. Who's gonna get him? Rumored that there's only 5 teams out there that have offered him.
Yeah.
That includes the Yankees, where he played last year, the Blue Jays, which seems very random to me, the Dodgers, and then the Mets and the Red Sox are the current favorites.
Yeah, and it's you have to. Oh, I'd have to like include staying with the Yankees, the Mets.
Yeah, do you think he stays in New York?
There's like a whole
general?
lot of chatter last week about the Red Sox. They were like, yeah, it's already locked up.
Right.
His sister's apparently looking at houses.
His sister?
Yeah, that's what
The whole family moving
when the
with him?
real estate rumors start coming out, you know it's getting real. Like
It's like when Urban Meyer bought a house in Bollesburg, Pennsylvania. Thought
yeah,
he was going to be
he's
the coach
coming,
of Penn State.
no doubt. But that is just a real estate rumor. It does seem like one of the New York teams or Red Sox or
The Mets or the Yankees.
Mets. Yeah,
Yeah, the Red Sox was kind of out of left field, unless they're like trying to fully rebuild and like buy back in. I mean, the same thing with the Blue Jays. It's just they just don't want the Yankees to get them. I don't really want the Yankees to get them, but I would hate if the Mets get them like that.
I feel like best case scenario for us is Red Sox
For sure.
Get them the hell away from us.
For sure.
Yeah.
Or the Blue Jays.
Yeah. I don't really see that realistic.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but the Mets, that would just
That would suck. That would suck, man.
if he goes to the Mets, like the NL East is the toughest division
Oh yeah,
that I can remember.
that might be like historic if he.
Like that would be incredible.
It's already kind of yeah.
It'd be incredible to have the Mets, Braves, and the Phillies. Like holy
All
shit!
potential like 90 win teams.
Yeah, like that would just be insane.
Get him the hell
Hopefully,
away.
yeah.
Dude,
Please
if
don't
the
want-
Red Sox snatch him up, that would be awesome.
But I mean, he had room. What they're saying, he hasn't met with the Phillies. That
Yeah,
doesn't necessarily
he's
mean
met with everybody else.
that Dombrowski might have some tricks up his sleeve. And he's like, we're just gonna wait and just waiting in the bushes right now, ready to pounce. I don't know. You have to believe that he's at least talked. Like Bryce has at least talked to him.
Yeah,
Or Trey
right.
has talked to him, or Schwarber has talked to him. There are pretty deep ties.
It's all the
Soto on his
Nationals team. Yeah, his former Nationals teammates.
Yeah,
And yeah, and that's but the way Dombrowski's talked about it too, it unless he's downplaying it, because he's like, oh no, we're not doing another major.
Right.
Yeah, who
I
knows
don't know.
though? You never know. It'd be kind of it'd be wild,
Yeah, it would be wild.
and it would keep him off the Mets.
It would be great for us. It would be wild. We're definitely. I would still consider us very much a dark horse, but just because we have the money, we have the connections,
Yeah,
it could happen.
my heart of heart is telling me, nah, not happening.
Yeah, probably not. It's wishful thinking.
Love to be proven wrong.
Well, we'll find out more soon enough. And this is a big reason why we chose to record now. The winter meetings are coming up next week, and in the winter meetings, I don't really know what goes on. It'd be something great to know. Another question for Tim.
Yeah,
For Tim, what actually goes on during the winter meetings, other than all these deals? But like, how do they go? Like, what is? I'm imagining it's like a conference. Right,
They like I'll
it's
show
like,
up to like a castle in like central,
it's like
in Transylvania.
what is the winter meetings really? But the word on the street is that he's going to sign either right before, so like any day now, or it'll be come out during the winter meetings.
Right.
So we probably won't have to wait too much longer to find out who the winner is of the Soto sweepstakes. All right, moving on to everybody's favorite part of the show. Let's get down to business. And we're going to do it a little differently.
To defeat the Mets.
Like, and the Braves.
And the Braves.
Yeah, the Mets for sure. Minnesota.
Okay, how
So-
are you going to do it?
We're going to do a little different. And from most of the episodes, but similar to what we did in the first episode. So the first episode, during this segment, we did a SWOT analysis. For those who don't remember what a SWOT analysis is, it stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So just like we did before the season, we're going to do it now at the end of the season, during the offseason, to look at the state of the team as it stands, this point in time right now, early December. What are the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? We're going to do a little out of order. We're going to go strengths, weaknesses, threats, and then what are our opportunities?
Right. So, problem, solution.
Exactly.
So we're still going to, because there's a lot going on. What the hell do we need to do?
The weaknesses and our threats, we're going to get into what are our problems.
Or what do we think we need to do?
Yeah. So
we can't do anything.
So the opportunities will play on, can we take advantage of our current strengths? Can we eliminate our weaknesses? And how do we mitigate our threats is really what we're looking to do with that last one.
All right, so we'll start with some strengths.
The strengths continued all through season and in the series with the Mets, the starting pitching.
Yes.
And it's been really good even outside of not having a fifth starter. Those four top guys,
The emergence
Put
of
him up there.
Sanchez.
put them up there with anybody.
Rangers start, the potential Ranger a lot of people are not nearly as big on Ranger as they were before.
Well, he
obvious.
should have. He got hurt, but he almost started the All-Star game over Paul Skeens.
There was clearly something wrong, but there's talk of moving him. There's talk of when people are talking about like what our dominant rotation can be. I noticed they're often leaving Granger out,
Yeah,
like the odd man out.
he could
Is
go
that
back
fair?
to the pen. He could go back to the pen because I
Is
think
that fair?
there was part of it. Like he's pitched a lot, way more than he ever did.
Is there
in a
something
season.
else that we don't know? Because like
He might not have it in his arsenal to be a long-time starter. He just doesn't have, like, he wears down for whatever reason. I don't know.
he did one season.
I know.
I
I don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't know. Either way,
Sanchez-
overall,
Sanchez
starting
seems-
pitchers.
Sanchez seems
Christopher
like a stud, though.
Sanchez,
Wheeler Nola.
all-star,
Wheeler Nola, the anchors.
obviously.
All right.
Outside of the random, every so often, Nola doing his Nola things.
I'll take that. Still a veteran team led by incredible veteran leadership.
You got Bryce and Schwarber. Like, they are the stables.
JT.
The
JT getting a little older.
thoroughbreds out of the stable. JT, veteran, getting older. Not as much of a vocal leader, but
He's a big
still there.
lead by example guy.
And then Trey,
Wheeler.
who's obviously one of the best players out there. He's won a World Series, so like he's there. So like the core is good from a veteran standpoint. So that's always a good thing. That's always going to be a strength. and guys who have won in the past.
Yes.
Right? That's
Yeah.
always a strength. Our front office is a strength, I think. I know, like, Middleton's willing to pay. He's not like some of these owners out there who don't really care. Middleton wants his effing trophy back, and he's willing to pay. That's a huge thing for us.
Yeah, I think no doubt about it.
And then Dombrowski is, people give him slack because he hasn't done much at the trade deadline, but he's one of the best out there. He really is. And there's not much to do during the trade deadline over the last 2 seasons. Like, there just wasn't the players out there, at least from this last season, that was going to be worth the price. And I think he made the right move in the end. You didn't want to overpay for something that we could take advantage of potentially right now in the offseason. So,
Nah, big on Dombrowski still. I
Yeah.
mean, he's put together this window with Harper as his little henchman going and getting all the former Nationals. I mean, getting Wheeler.
yeah.
I mean,
The only Taiwan and Merrifield are his missteps, but most of the
Merrifield
time,
was worthless.
Taiwan's even worse.
Taiwan was negative money.
That aside, even Howie makes mistakes from time to time.
We can have a whole podcast. Dude, I'm starting to see, like, this, we're a baseball podcast, but, like, it kind of drives me nuts when they're like, this is Howie's last so-and-so many drafts. These are his 1 and 2 picks. I'm like, yeah, you stopped right there because we passed on Jefferson. All right, baseball podcast.
It's hard to be a GM, but
It's a tough job.
I think we do have 2 of the best. Are the vibes still there? You still think that's a strength?
Game 1, the vibes were different. I felt it, but yeah, it's weird because, like, you're on such a high when it's new and you've been down for 10 years. That first year was like a miracle run. The second year is like, okay, we're here now. The third year, it's like, we're supposed to do this. It's hard to maintain success.
You know, I think that the part of the vibes.
It's hard to maintain vibes.
It is. And I think that the postseason mix, you know, they used to have the playlist, and Dancing on My Own was thing. Hate Dancing on My Own. I'm glad that didn't come back. But I was not a fan of the mix they did this season. I think that killed the vibes too. The mix that they did, I like the idea, the premise of bringing in a DJ from Philly to do this whole mix. But I listened to it. It wasn't that good.
It was like, dude, just do a playlist.
It wasn't that good. Just do a playlist. It wasn't that good.
Honestly, it was. We were driving down and had that on, and the person I was with turned it off, and it was like, the vibes are so off.
Yeah,
the vibes are so off.
But they were at that time. Could we get them back? Do I think they're still there? Yes. So I still would consider that a strength.
I think that's probably the entire reason they re-signed Stubbs, because I don't know why the hell else they did.
They signed him to like a minor league, major league deal.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting how he's going to do next year.
It's got to be Marsh, yeah.
But then the strength is the fans. Like the bank, even though the vibes were off during the series against the Mets, throughout the season, like, it's electric down there.
And that's not going to change.
May, right? Like, it's just crazy. And that's never going to change.
And if they keep winning, we're going to keep showing up. And at the end of the day, that's the vibes. And it's still, Harper's still going to be Harper. It looks like we're going to come into this season healthy. Knock on wood and nothing crazy happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see why not. And, you know, maybe we did need to be knocked down a peg. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see. So let's get into the weaknesses here.
I can't imagine when summer's right around the corner and Phillies baseball is all of a sudden coming back. I can't imagine the vibes aren't going to be high.
The vibes will be back. Like,
Eagles are fresh off a Super Bowl.
Penn State National Championship.
Penn State win the Natty. But we're not getting ahead of ourselves at all.
No. The vibes will still be there. We're still a great team, especially if we make some good moves. But let's get into our weaknesses as we stand right now. Obviously, number one, our approach at the plate sucks.
It's awful. Yeah.
Sucks. The fact that we knew exactly what the Mets were going to do and we couldn't help ourselves is infuriating.
Yeah.
It's a weakness, and hopefully it's one that they can fix. but they might not be able to. Maybe it's just in their DNA.
And I think the hitting coach they're keeping around.
Yep, they are. All the coaching staff staying.
Yeah, pitching coach. I mean, he did an unbelievable job. He should never let him leave anywhere.
But it's up to the players to adjust.
For you to be able to call that basically all season as we're doing podcasts, and then you get in there and then it's so crazy when you hear like Trey Turner like, oh yeah, I know I should be holding off those pitches, but I just had to swing. It's like, bro, no, you didn't. Just don't swing. It's insane.
It's scary, and I think that's part of why they realize, hey, we need to kind of shake some things up, because the way that the lineup is designed right now is not conducive for good at bats. Right, we have a lot of free swingers.
Yeah,
that's a weakness. It is, and it goes along with, like I said, the lineup makeup. Right, fifth starter, huge weakness right now. Right now, huge weakness. Taijuan Walker still on the team.
Yeah, and
can't be a starter.
And this is
cannot be a starter.
Some opportunities out there. No, Taijuan should. I don't ever see him.
I don't even want him in the bullpen.
I don't want him anywhere. Yeah.
But I don't know what they're gonna do with him. They're not gonna get rid of him.
Yeah, why is he here?
I don't know what to do with him. He's just there. We're just gonna stash him away somewhere.
Just give him his own little office.
Oh my God.
No, man. Yeah.
And then I consider this right now a weakness. The bullpen pieces. It's kind of. The bullpen after that series is enough to me to consider a weakness, where it's just in shambles.
Puts a really bad taste in your mouth, despite, having 2 All-Stars out of the bullpen. Non-closers making the All-Stars game, which is it's very rare. I still believe in Strom as the man. I still think Kerkering is only going to get better.
I just don't know if we ran out of gas, or
I still think Estevez is going to settle in and be.
You think we're going to keep him?
I think so.
Free agent.
I think so. I think you didn't bring him to not keep him, and I think the Yankee.
Hoffman.
Who's the other guy out there? He's like a Yankees closer. Is that? I think I might have made a note.
You did Clay Holmes?
Yeah, I think he's a free agent, but there's some people saying that he might potentially be a starter, a long inning guy. So then that would be probably too much money. But Estevez, I don't know. I'm fine with keeping Estevez.
We'll see. But it's still a weakness right now.
Hoffman had the best year of his career, but then
but it's the way it ended, man.
But here's the thing: I will say, to their credit, if you watched all those games, they were put in awful situations almost every time.
Yes, they were like 2 men on or bases loaded.
Yeah, and it was always Topper waiting too long to switch. He was leaving leashes way too long.
Yeah, because they were happening in like the 4th inning.
No, but he wasn't managing like a playoff game.
No, I know. I know. God, it was so frustrating.
Especially that last game. That was insane.
So frustrating.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
So I'll give them that they were probably thrown off. They were put in garbage.
Yeah, you're right. That's tough, but something's off. I don't know what it is.
Is it Bohm's attitude?
Bohm's attitude is a weakness. And like a vibes killer. Maybe that's where it really stems from. Like vibes killer. Bohm's attitude's been terrible. And that's why he's swirling around in a lot of trade rumors. Yeah, I do not think he's going to be on the team next year.
So Bohm took that step forward, was praised all year as he deserved to be, but when things started going left, he just couldn't get his head on straight, and his approach changed.
Terrible.
And so the daycare didn't take a step Stott didn't take the step like we wanted him to. Bohm did, but then fell apart.
He did, but then, he just became a head case. Kind of Ben Simmons-esque.
No.
Kind of, Tom. Kind of. No. He might be a cancer in the locker room. Like, I don't know.
Don't bring Ben Simmons into this.
I don't know. Is he still dating Aaron Dillon, or did she dump his ass?
Oh, you're right. Date famous chick.
I don't know. Maybe that was part
diva.
of it. All right. Well, let's then talk about
Marsh. Marsh kind of never learned how to hit the right-handed
pitchers. The daycare is kind of a weakness, honestly. But what are the threats?
And it's one of those things where, like, going back to the vibes, like when all of a sudden stuff like that's happening, all right, now it's not as cute when you dump water.
Yeah. All right, we can stop this now.
All right.
But the threats, either internally or mostly externally, what's going on out there outside that's a threat to us as a team? organization. Internally, free agents that we have, Estevez, we talked about. Austin Hayes, thank you for your service. Sorry you got injured.
Another kind of
Don't want him back.
nothing signing.
Don't want him back.
Yeah.
Hoffman, and then Spencer Turnbull. Estevez, Hoffman, Turnbull. Three of the biggest names that we have as free agents right now. We're not going to keep all three. It'd be great if we kept two of the three. But it's a threat that we could lose most, if not all of them.
Yeah, I think it would be dependent on what happens here for this next couple weeks.
Yeah, we'll find out. I do think they're going to keep two of the four. Two of the three. Hayes is not coming back.
Turnbull's pitching so well before the injury. I would love to see him get a chance to come back. It's tough. Hoffman was pitching so well. I want to keep Estevez, big guy.
You're a 3 out of 4 guy.
I don't know. I don't know. Clearly they know more than we do, and we'll see what we pick up here.
Yeah. And then, obviously, threats to us. The Braves will continue to be a threat, but the Mets are obviously a threat. Obviously, they knocked us out. If they get Soto, like we talked about,
yeah,
legitimate threat for many years. Probably more of a threat than the Braves.
Yeah,
honestly.
The National League is
national. Yeah, and then with the Dodgers, like the power has swung mightily to the National League. The best league is the National League for sure.
Yeah, Soto, go to Red Sox, bro. Get the hell out of the National League.
And with all of that, like, there's the threat of us is not doing enough in free agency, like we talked about during the trade deadline. Like we kind of did last year. Merrifield was our biggest signing.
Yep, and was not the utility guy. I mean, Cody Clemens was a way better utility guy than he was. Sosa was a way better utility guy than he was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a nothing burger.
Yeah.
They got to do something.
Got to do something.
And we'll get into that when we touch on these opportunities. What other threats do we got? The aging roster. Like
window closing. Yeah, is the window.
Windows don't stay open.
It feels like it's still open, but it's a threat that it's on the downward trajectory.
Well,
somebody's hands.
We're just down.
Are on it.
Because we got kicked. The Mets kicked us when we were down.
The window's not opening up. Like, we can be honest with ourselves. Like, the window is not opening larger.
That's fair.
It's open, but it's either staying where it is.
Yeah, because you got
down.
the weight of the National League getting stronger and stronger is way.
And the age, and then the age it's like
yeah, and the age. We're not getting that old. All right, JT missed some games for like the first time in his career.
Are you saying that because we're that old? We're their age?
Yeah, we're so young, dude. Yeah,
we're actually a little bit older than them.
Gonna go to a college football game and feel so old this weekend. Like, these kids are in college.
Fact.
They look like they're 5.
For sure. Yeah, I don't know. It's a threat. It's a legitimate threat that the window is closing.
But let's look on the other side. Yeah, JT's getting a little older, but all right, we got this switch hitting catcher Marshawn coming up. That's give him some time to come into his own
and
learn under the best catcher in baseball.
We'll talk about is there a new daycare coming in the opportunities? Like, you're absolutely right. We need to start infusing the energy because the age is a concern.
And just getting hot at the right time. Like, those teams are all the teams.
In order to win,
it was always
baseball.
us. It was always us doing it, and then watching other teams do it. You're like, well, it kind of sucks that we're not doing it. Like,
this isn't as fun.
Yeah, this isn't fun at all.
Yeah.
Like, sure.
I know. Let's get into the opportunity. So, we just dwelled on the weaknesses and threats and some of the negatives around the team right now.
Problem solution. Give me problem.
Let's get some solutions out there. Free agency. Juan Soto would solve a lot of problems.
Yeah.
He really would.
Our outfield would be
pretty
sick.
The likelihood of him coming, pretty low.
It's getting
lower by the
less
day.
Optimistic. Yeah. If we recorded this 2 weeks ago, we would probably talk a lot more about Soto.
Yeah, but it's still it could happen. Wishful thinking.
Yeah.
But some names that have come up: Alex Bregman.
Yeah. Speaking of aging,
Alex Bregman, Willie Adames, both like 30, 31. Both hit around 250, 260. Both can get you around 30 home runs a year.
And Bregman's interesting because obviously Bohm is on the trade block hardcore, and guess what? Somebody has to play third base.
Yeah. And Adames are saying that they would move him to third base even though he plays shortstop right now, which is interesting too, because then you could do like a Cody Clemens at third and then Adames at short, and then Stott's kind of the odd man out with Trey then goes to second. Or
Trey in the outfield.
Or does Trey go to center?
Yeah, I don't think
like there's like they're interesting pieces.
Moving. I don't think Stott's moving from second.
Only because he's a great defender. But like there's some like weird, like that would be a weird piece to be like, what do we do with it?
Yeah.
Either way, I think Bohm is gone, especially because some of these names are coming out.
And if you can get some value, it's weird though, because like you see some reports from other teams where the Phillies are just like shooting for the moon with Bohm and asking for just like absurd amounts. It's just like, hey, shoot for the moon.
I get it. All-star.
Land among the stars.
Yeah.
Which is actually backwards. Like if you the stars are further, so if you shoot for the stars, you land on the moon.
It's true.
But we never landed on the moon. Baseball podcast. Baseball podcast.
Tune in for our conspiracy theory podcast.
I don't know. Maybe they did. But anyway.
What do you got on this guy, Rocky Sasaki?
Hold on a second. Back with Bregman real quick. The scary thing with that is like there's some talks of like a long-term deal, and that just seems absurd. Like if it's like a 5 or 6 year deal, I'm cool with it.
It can't be 10 years because you can't. Be we can have another contract where we have somebody for until he's 41.
Yeah, so that's why like we might, if someone out there is willing to give him that, can't blame him. But like, no, thank you.
I don't know.
Yeah, Adames would be interesting. So the Roki Sasaki's the kid. He's the Yamamoto of this year. He's a 23-year-old, 6'3", stud coming out of Japan. And think about like he's 23, so he's essentially like would be like a top prospect now. Like how old is Andrew Painter,
Yep.
So like it's one of the, and I think it's because he's under 25 or a certain age, it would have like with the way Ohtani was, it would have to be a minor league contract. So he's going to be cheap and he's potentially really, really, really good.
Yeah.
He's tearing it up in Japan. It was in his 4 years pitching in the Japanese league. It's
just over 2 ERA.
2.02 ERA, 11.4 strikeouts per 9.
That's pretty good.
I think 2 walks per 9. So like if you take that and factor it into a better MLB, still have a potentially very good starting pitcher who could come in and contribute pretty soon and be cheap. So the way you kind of look at it though, there's no reason that every single team won't want him.
Mm-hmm.
So how hard do they go at him? Because Dabrowski said they did make an offer to Yamamoto, but I don't think it was like nearly as serious as
they did. I know Bryce talked to him, so I don't know. I think part of it is because they don't have any Japanese players, and like a lot of the Japanese players feel comfortable playing with Japanese players. I get it.
And all of a sudden, the Dodgers have Ohtani and Yamamoto.
I know. Here we go.
This kid.
I know. We'll see.
But
it could be like.
It's a name to keep in mind if you hear it pop up or see it pop up. Roki Sasaki. This kid apparently is awesome.
It's a great name, by the way.
Roki Sasaki.
That's a great name.
Philly will love you, Roki.
Yeah. Do you want to start talking about some of the names starting out with some of the trades, especially around Bohm?
Yeah, there's just a couple other Clay Holmes, Yankees reliever.
Yeah, we talked about him a little bit.
Teoscar Hernandez is
but he's the same hitter as everybody else. Free swinger. We don't need that.
Yeah.
So, like, Garrett Crochet has been rumored within the trades of Bohm, and apparently they're offered
this is the big
Bohm
one
and
right
Justin Crawford to the White Sox for Garrett Crochet.
Yeah.
That would be huge.
This is the
big.
big.
Denied it or still in play?
This is the big.
This would be the big one.
But this is like the most. This is what they're saying is like what's happening right now.
Yeah, and that would be huge. Like having Garrett Crochet in this lineup. Like, we would solidify our fifth starter.
So, Garrett Crochet basically is a pitcher for the White Sox who had
the fifth starter, but
had one of the worst. White Sox had one of the worst. They have one of the worst organizations, worst seasons out there
ever.
Crochet was the lone bright spot.
Yeah,
they got to go out. They need to sell and try to build something. So they're probably going to get rid of Crochet. And Justin Crawford is one of the top outfield prospects in baseball. He's our 2022 first-round draft pick, and he's been crushing it.
Yeah.
And I think the other two guys, Andrew Painter and
Aiden Miller, Andrew Painter,
Aiden Miller,
they're untouchable.
Right, because they're going to be cornerstone. Do you bring Aiden Miller right up to play third?
I don't know if he's ready enough, but yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing.
He's the guy. They're supposed to be big parts of this organization. So they're saying Justin Crawford they can deal with, and if we're getting Crochet, do it.
Yeah,
I'm okay. I'm okay with it. Would you feel bad about sending Bohm to Chicago White
No.
Sox?
No, not after. No, I'm just like so over.
Like, bro, you thought you were miserable now.
I'm over him. I just get him out of here.
Here's a bulletproof
cancer in the locker room.
Have fun.
Yeah, no, get him out. Get him out. And then two weird names that Cassie's been thrown out there for a couple of years. This has been rumored out in the trade market, and then Ranger was thrown out there.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of it, and then they're talking about the Crochet trade. They're like, oh yeah, imagine our lineup now. You got Wheeler, Crochet, Nola, Sanchez, and a fifth. Like that's what I hear when they talk about it. It's like,
about him.
It's like, what happened to the guy that was like favorite to win the Cy Young for the first half of the year?
I know. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It's gonna be real interesting. But do we think there's a next daycare wave? We talked about Andrew Painter, Aiden Miller. Could you technically put Clemens in there? He's kind of like part of the current daycare, but like Cody Clemens is a great player. Not great player yet, but like a really good player. And I would love if he could find some home more with us that be up here full time on like the years past where he comes up and goes down, comes up and goes down, has moments.
Yeah.
Like it'd be awesome. Like I could see him at third base. Like even if it's like
just
a rental, like just to buy time till we get Aiden Miller ready. Like
he produces, yeah.
He does. Because the current daycare is not doing it. Stott and Marsh just weren't doing it, but they're still young enough that they could step up.
Is Cody
could that be an opportunity?
Is Cody going to be the left hand to Marsh's right hand? That doesn't really make tons of sense, but like is Marsh going to figure it out?
I don't know, but they could. There's still a window of opportunity for both of them, I think. Bohm's window of opportunity is gone, in my mind. So we'll see. It's
crazy to say for a guy who just started his first All-Star game.
Ben Simmons-esque. Ben Simmons-esque. So that basically sums up our SWOT analysis, current state of the Phils. Here we are in the heart of the off season. And we're going to move forward into our last segment here where we wrap up and look at the roadmap. Looking forward, we talked about the winter meetings. They're from the 9th to the 12th, so it's next Monday to Thursday. So we'll see what comes out. Should be a lot more moving and shaking in the MLB world. We'll find out more. And then only 68 more days until pitchers and catchers. Crazy.
Nice. That is actually nuts.
I know. Just over 2 months away.
Gotta start hitting the gym harder. I thought I had more time than that.
It's pretty crazy. 68 more days. And then also looking forward, Tom, I know you have an announcement to make.
Yeah, so we're recording this pod. It's looking like I'm going to hang up the podcast shoes for the time being.
Yeah. For
the Phil's Boardroom. It's been a blast.
It has been a blast.
But it's got some stuff going on. It'd be tough to come back again next season, and I don't want to just like half-ass and do it. Yeah. So I hope you keep it going. I hope I still be a part of it or whatever we end up doing. But
yeah, completely understand, man, and love you. And I'm glad that we were able to, in a drunken night in Phoenixville, actually make this happen.
Yeah.
We talked about it, and a lot of the times, like you talk about things like this, and they never come to fruition.
Save that receipt.
And not only did it come to fruition this year, but it was pretty awesome. Like we had some cool moments and met cool people and did some really cool things.
Yeah, shout out Jeff Kirkchin, producer, obviously.
Thank you, Jeff.
Making it so that we could step in and do it like this.
Yeah. Thank you to his dad, Tim.
Shout out Tim Kirkchin, spending some time with us. He's got his picture on the wall here, which is awesome. It says Jeff if Jeff had that center part.
I know, he needs to get a haircut like that. Yeah, like that was just amazing.
Shout out Brian Anderson.
Maestro. Phil's Maestro.
Well, they obviously catch you as much as we can. Anytime. I think they'd go down the shore a lot, the Boathouse Row. If you ever see those guys play and check them out, it's so fun.
It has just been awesome this whole year. And with that, I mean, I guess, we're collecting resumes. I'm collecting resumes. Send your cover letter. 3 references, please, if you're interested in joining the Phil's Boardroom. But I'm also going to be a dad.
Oh,
Yeah, some big
Congrats.
news. Thank you.
congrats on the sex, Dave.
Thanks. So right
No, that's
right
awesome.
before, early next year, before pitchers and catchers, I'm going to be a dad.
That's
Going to have a
crazy.
little girl. So my life's about to change for the better, and it's going to be very busy as well. So as far as the future of the Phil's boardroom, just like the future of the 2025 Phillies roster, we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Going to have to wait and see, but what we do know for a fact is we had a hell of a time this year.
It was a blast. Love you too, man.
Yeah.
Surprised you don't have the girl dad hat on.
No, I need to buy
For
it.
your little
I need
announcement.
to get it. I'm excited.
So one more director of the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, much like sometimes professional sports, we believe in nepotism. So she has a job when she needs one. When she learns to talk.
I'll get her a Phil's boardroom onesie. Yeah.
That actually would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I know. Get the game made.
But yeah,
So a lot of fun and good things to come, and a lot of good things hopefully to come for this 2025 Phillies team, and really looking forward to what the future holds.
you going to Clearwater this year? I know, baby. Yeah,
Not happening this year. Maybe next year.
next year for sure.
Yeah, I'll have like a 2-week-old.
All right. So we're saying this now. Who knows? 68 days, we might be like, yo, dude, let's just start recording pods again.
Yeah, you never know. So we'll see.
Right.
But thank you, Tom. It's been a blast.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you to all the directors of the board out
Absolutely. Thank you, board
Great
in Phoenixville,
season.
everybody.
there. I wish we finished this at a parade, but it's okay.
It might be a little delayed. Maybe we'll have a parade in February with the Eagles.
That'd be awesome.
Anyway, baseball podcast. Looking forward to the future of the Phillies. More news to come, what that team's going to look like. Coming soon. And as always, go Phils.
Love you, Dave. Love you all. Go Phils.